Here are my audience. Okay, my timer. Okay. My name is Nancy Preston. I chose my topic to be Hurricane Harvey that hit home for me, my hometown of Houston, Texas. This is a video. Oh, no. Hold on. On the left, you have 2016 and 2017 of my hometown before the flood hit. And here's during the flood and after. As you can see, it hit shops and in the highways of Houston, Texas on August 27, 2017. And this video came from New York Times of 2017 as well. This can't be ignored, this natural disaster. After researching this topic and interviewing community members, there needs to be a change. Go big or go home, right? That's Texas's phrase. This phrase is definitely true for this storm. Unfortunately, Hurricane Harvey got in this spirit. Harvey was one of the first Category 4 hurricanes that hit Texas since Hurricane Celia in 1970. This significant damage is what brings attention to the Houston government. The aftermath of this storm requires more action to be made due to the amount of destruction and damage that won't be changed without the personal attention of Houston government to enact a change and to enact a solution overall. My family was here during this storm while it was hit. Just a few houses down, and even in this neighborhood, they had to evacuate due to all the damage and all the flooding and mold damage. Thankfully, my family didn't have to. Our home is safe. It didn't get flood damage. I was on my way back to Abilene Christian University while this was happening. That was the scariest part for me, is that I didn't know what I was coming home to. I didn't know if my home was going to be flooded. I didn't know if my home was going to be taken by the storm itself. My knowledge of this natural disaster came from both personal ties from my family and from my own research on this topic and its impact on my hometown after watching the news from miles away and from keeping up with it on the phone with my family as much as I could with the storm happening. Houston demands a change for the ravaged communities from Hurricane Harvey. We are about to embark on the history of Hurricane Harvey and what the Houston government can do to solve and ease the destruction from this natural disaster. As we dive into the history of Hurricane Harvey, we see that Houston underwent one of the most destructive hurricanes that left the communities of Houston with little help on shaky grounds to recover. Hurricane Harvey has left a major footprint of damage in its path that has negatively impacted millions of people, 13 million to be exact, as you can see here. 88 were killed, and $125 billion worth of damage done to my community. 135,000 homes damaged, and about 1 million cars wrecked. That's a lot. I can't even imagine that many. The only thing that can compare to this was a hurricane that happened previously, Hurricane Katrina, that hit August 29, 2005. It was a Category 3. As you can see here, Hurricane Harvey was a Category 4 hurricane with 27 trillion gallons of rainwater that fell over Texas, and this is all according to worldsvision.org. Along with this hurricane, there were other natural disasters that occurred after Hurricane Harvey, taking the priority away from the immediate repair and recovery from this disaster. Harvey occurred on August 17th through September 2017. Harvey originated from a tropical wave off the west coast of Africa on August 13th, 2017. The tropical depression, were formed on August 23rd and upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane with 80 miles per hour winds. The Natural Hurricane Center upgraded the storm to a Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 130 miles per hour on August 25th. Overall, Texas, state, and local officials' recovery was slowed as resources were diverted toward Florida due to Hurricane Irma, which my sister was present in Florida, and then to Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands because of Hurricane Maria that was taking place as well. Many families are struggling because they are uninsured and had to wait for whatever the government would supply. Currently, the status quo is that many Houston communities are left or left damaged and with no money to recover or to even fix their homes, according to NBC's 2017. The harms in this disaster are that there are many people all over Houston who don't have a plan, enough money, or any ability to rely on the government to fix their damaged communities and homes. This is forcing a large amount of Houston families to move to a different location from their current location and from the communities that they grew up in due to the storm. Hurricane Harvey has left its footprint on its path of destruction, but in order to prevent this, there's only one way. A bill or a state change is needed to be made in order to protect the communities of Houston from any future or unforeseen natural disasters that will take place. My position on this topic is that there are demands to be a change that needs to come from higher officials, such as the Houston government, in order to make a drastic and positive change for our future. After going over all the damages that Hurricane Harvey has caused, we now look to the solution that the government can give the community of Houston as a security blanket to protect and reassure for the future. The government will take steps in order to make a renewed state disaster recovery plan. And you may be asking who's going to make it. It'll be the Houston government. And then what is the plan? That's the main question. It is a plan for the coastlines that were recently hit to provide assurance and to protect for any future disasters, but also to fix the disaster that has already occurred, to give the money that is well needed. The recovery plan will be in effect as of the end of 2019, but also the start of 2020 with the new year. The advantages are that many people are not forced out of their homes. Instead, dams, water floodgates, and pump stations will be put in order to avoid flooding. My supporting material is from the previous hurricane that passed through, Hurricane Katrina. President Bush signed a $10.5 billion relief package within 4 days of the storm, according to CNN 2017, although only $1.8 billion was signed for Harvey. Why is Harvey getting the short end when it is the one that needs the most help? Here are some words from the Houstonians themselves. "This is my home. Where else can I go?" said Armstrong. "Harvey is strong. Texas is stronger. We are Texas strong," said USDA. And "we are safe. We are home," said S. Preston. In conclusion, we went over how Harvey was an irreversible natural disaster that couldn't have been prevented. However, it could have been challenged by prior preparation that we are making for our next big storm that is coming. Houston demands a change for the ravaged communities from Hurricane Harvey. The renewal plan is the plan of action and what's supposed to be in place. What can you do right now? Right now, you can make your voice heard and spread the word about the change that is needed. Help your neighbors and make this change a reality by contacting the Houston government at this website, response.epa/Hurricane Harvey. It's not too late. Support it, and don't let it go to fail without it. If anything, go big or go home destruction of Hurricane Harvey has left me personally saying and wishing that we took it home and got the Houston government to be more prepared in all. And just for that, we want to be prepared for the next unexpected natural disaster. We can't leave our homes unprotected.
Very good.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So we're 2 years post Harvey. I'm just wondering, is the community completely recovered from that post storm, or is there more left to do?
So we are not. There's so much more to be done, and that's why the renewal plan is in action and needs to be put forth, because there's so much more to do. Yes, there has been quite a time that's happened since the storm, but our community is not fully recovered from that. Any more questions? No? Okay. Thank you.